Use the time. Yes, yes. Dear colleagues and friends, attention. The sitting, yes, the sitting is open. So, on behalf of you, I would like to declare the 2023 after New Year, our ordinary session of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe declared to be open.
They cannot hear.
No?
Emmanuel, come closer, please.
Okay.
Closer.
Now is better.
And use the hammer.
Now is better. Thank you. Allow me, dear friends, to say that our sitting is open, and I declare our ordinary session of this after New Year 2023 session of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe to be opened. So, welcome, and I would like to welcome Secretary General. Nice to be together. Allow me, friends, being not, I'm sorry for my joke, being not oldest, but long-standing member of our Assembly and having honorable duty to say a few words on the beginning of our session. And after that, we will go with all possible procedures for election and for approval of our seats in the committees and in the chairmanships. So, allow me to say that I remember very well when I entered these facilities of Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, this hemicycle, for the first time in '93. And at the same time, I met Despina. It was for her first year too. So, Despina, 30 years for both of us together. And I can humorously tell Despina, and you still radiates youth, that the conditions in our post-Soviet prisons were indeed poor. Well, that was your connected to your report during those times. But later, Lithuania accepted the criticism and corrected the situation. Separately, looking back on the history of the Assembly, I would like to thank Kingdom of Denmark and their delegations for the historical resolution proposed in 1960 by the courage Member of Parliament, then conservative leader of Danish party, Marie Antoinette von Lowzow, died in '85 and adopted by the consultative Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe regarding the non-recognition of the occupation of all three Baltic states by Soviet Union. In '96, Russia was obligated to withdraw its troops from Moldova and to pay compensation to those deported to Siberian gulags. And most of those commitments from the '96 by Russian Federation was not fulfilled. We will be heading for another world war, Dan told our delegation when Russia rejected to fulfill all their obligation to Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly and to Council of Europe executive part. If you remember, dear friends, Russian Democrats in this room, in the chamber, talked about it's the most. Boris Nemtsov, standing with his head held high at the Maidan barricades in Kiev, said that the Russian Democrats are with Ukraine. And for that, he was killed in front of Kremlin. After Russia's invasion to Georgia in 2008, after the unprovoked annexation of Ukrainian Crimea in 2014, with the representative of bordering states, especially Poland, Baltic states, from time to time our Romanian colleagues, constantly try to warn you about the threat to us from Russia. Ukraine, which now has the status of a proud European Union candidate country, is now under attack of mass murderer. This country, Ukraine, even during the war, when the bombs are falling, heroically takes decisions that correspond to the spirit of the values of the Council of Europe. Dear Secretary General, let's applaud our Ukrainian friends for that you continue to vote in favor for conventions and resolutions created by the Council of Europe. We just recently unanimously recognized the Kremlin regime as a terrorist. Therefore, I hope that on May 17 of this year, the upcoming Council of Europe summit in Reykjavik will achieve concrete results in stopping Russian aggression against the all democratic world. Persons who commit crimes of aggression in Ukraine must face retribution and take responsibility for their actions. And so too, those who gave orders to destroy cities and kill everyday civilians. It is for this purpose that a special tribunal must be established to investigate the crimes of Russian aggression. Where the dividing line is drawn today, dear friends, by the democratic world, it will remain there for many, many years to come. In his speech yesterday on the occasion of the 63rd the year 1963 German-French agreement, President Macron drew attention yesterday to the project of the European Union, which we will all have to defend. We must defend European sovereignty, like it was struck by German and French leaders yesterday. After February 24th, we unanimously reached a formula, and would like to strike unanimously in this chamber, reach the formula of all kinds of support, including tanks for Ukraine. Therefore, I ask each of you in your political parties and groups in your honorable districts to seek support for the Ukrainian nation, which is bravely fighting a desperate war of our values. As the great bells struck midnight in the Kremlin on New Year Eve just a few weeks ago, the cheer went up, the Russia expanding. You should know, Mr. Putin, that the entire democratic world, shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, is toasting not the expansion of Russia, but the enlargement of the space of democracy, peace and European values. To that we can say in this new year, hooray. On 27, just in a few days, we will commemorate the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. You know very well, like former colleague Boris Silevich, I am from Holocaust survival family. My mother, Paulina, had spent 4 years in the Nazi camp, tortured every day. On behalf of the victims of the Holocaust, I would like to ask Mr. Putin to stop using the false anti-Nazi slogan against Ukrainians, to stop using the sacred memory of the victims of the Holocaust for the criminal imperial expansion of the territory of Russia. So, be brave, Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. Bon courage. Now we will start the examination of the credential. The first item on the agenda is the examination of credentials of members for the 2023 year ordinary session of the Assembly. The credentials have been submitted to the President in accordance with the rule number 6 of the Rules of Procedure. The names of the representatives and substitutes are document number 15687. If no credentials are challenged, the credentials will be ratified. Are any credentials, dear friends? Yes, about credentials.
That's Harold Weil from Germany.
Ja, angenehm Ihnen zu sehen, ja, bitte.
I must challenge the credentials because our delegation has been corrupted by the last elections on the federal level. The composition of the delegation consists of 2 members of the left party, and the left party did win their seats only on the special rule of 3 direct mandates, 2 of them in Berlin, and the Berlin elections have to be repeated by order of the Berlin Supreme Court till February 12 of this year. So the composition of the delegation is not just because of the results and the organization of the elections of 2021, which has to be repeated. Therefore, I bring it to your attention, colleagues, and may you back my motion that it has to be challenged. We are democracy, and we are exemplary democracy, and that's an issue which concerns not only Belarus, but all countries which are members of this great assembly. Thank you.
Danke herzlich. Wie heißen Sie doch?
Weil. W-E-Y-E-L.
Danke herzlich. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. The Assembly now will have noted what your dear colleague said, but I must rule that it does not constitute a formal objection under our rules of procedure. So I will still thank you for your contribution, dear colleague. So for that reason, I would like to declare credentials set out in document 15687 are ratified, okay? So thank you. I would like to go ahead and as an election of the President of the Assembly. The next item of the agenda is the election of the President of our Assembly. We have received 2 candidatures. That is for Mr. Tini Cox. Here is in the hemicycle, yes. Incumbent president of the Assembly, member of the Dutch delegation, and member of the United Left group, and our dear friend Alexander Mereshko, member of the Ukrainian delegation and member of the ACDI group. So the list of candidates and supporting signatures can be found in the document under number 2023/03. With the rule, accordance with the Rule 15, the President shall be elected by secret ballot. If neither candidate obtain an absolute majority of the votes cast at the first ballot, there will be a second ballot, in which a relative majority will be required. The vote will be conducted using the electronic voting system. I would like to announce that 5 tellers representing each political group will help oversee the election and counting. The tellers are, I would like to announce the names. From Socialist Group, our dear friend, Madame Clotilde Bushka. From APP Group, Ria Oomen-Ruijten. From ALDE Group, Mireille Clapeau. From ACDI Group, Oleksiy Goncharenko. From UL, United Left Group, Paul Gavan. So that's all our honorable friends who will be counting and supervising the elections. So now I would like, with your support, to invite the Secretary General of Parliamentary Assembly to recall the voting procedure and to present the technical arrangements that have been put in place for these elections. Please, the floor is open, Madam Secretary General.
Thank you, President. So as has been announced to you, please note that the vote will be conducted electronically using the Skytel system online voting platform. I remind you that only members entitled to vote, namely the representatives and the substitutes who have been duly notified within the prescribed deadline, will be able to take part in the vote. To vote, you must use your personal email address as well as the mobile phone number you have previously provided to the Secretariat. If you have any problem because for some reason when you put your email address it doesn't work, please make a sign to us. We have the list of all the email addresses you have provided to the Secretariat. If for any reason you don't receive the code by SMS, that normally is the procedure, within a few minutes after you have identified with your email address, again, we can help you. There is a help desk just behind the chamber for this purpose. Just make a sign to us. When the voting is open, you will indeed receive an email with a link to the electronic ballot, and then you follow the instructions. Another message will follow you, will inform you of the closure of the vote, but this is in any case foreseen for 12:20. So again, please, if you encounter any technical problems, just make a sign to us. We will be helping you. We can also provide for you the link to go into the ballot procedure as soon as you show up that there is any problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you for clarification, dear Despina. I would like now to announce that we are moving to the election of the president. It will now open the vote, which will close at 12:20, means we have 1 hour, after which the votes will be checked and verified. The results today will be announced at 1 o'clock p.m., and the Assembly will conclude the other items of business for the first sitting as set out in the draft agenda. So I'm declaring that the vote is open. I would like to declare to you that, again, that the result will be announced 1 o'clock. Despina just provide for us the technical support for those who will be a little bit lost in technical procedures during to the electronic voting. Thank you. So the consultation, if you like to have, is behind in the place where was former place of our voting, usual voting, yes, behind the scene here, in the podium.